everyone, and welcome to Random Number Generation, the GDQ Hotfix show about randomizers and the runners and communities behind them. I'm Skybills, your host, and this is episode 112, Dark Souls Enemy Item Randomizer with Lobos Jr., and this is going to be the Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition. Had to have that straight before we get started. Real quickly, here's some announcements on behalf of Games Done Quick. GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatale 2025, will be live from March 9th through the 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. Visit GamesDoneQuick.com/FrameFatale for more information on the event, or use !FF in Twitch chat to check out the schedule. And tune in to Speedruns 2025 from February 27th through March 2nd, benefiting Doctors of the World. Use !Speedruns in chat to learn more. And if you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix, check out the 2024 Season 4 shirt at theyeti.com/GDQ. With that being said, Lobos, how you doing? It's wonderful to see you.
Hi, Sky. It's good to be back. It's really great to be back with Dark Souls 1 again. If anybody remembers last time, we had a heck of a time trying to find a really good weapon, and we found a lot of pants. I remember that. This time, actually, I haven't even checked all of the starting classes we can choose, but this weapon right here already is a pretty good one. So I think that bodes well. Hopefully.
I was going to say, that weapon looks pretty good. Looks pretty hefty.
It's a big bonk. Yeah, you can't go wrong with big bonk. So let me set up the rest of the things on my character. Oh, I'm gonna look at the classes now. I usually don't, start until I've seen all the weapons that we could have. That's a good one.
Oh, that looks like a good one. I'm just going by looks here. I trust
know,
you.
Right? Yeah. I think that's a scimitar, a mace, blacksmith hammer, dagger, spear, jagged ghost blade, another blacksmith hammer. Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
What am I looking at?
It's Dark Souls. That's in a nutshell. I don't know. No, I'm actually going to stick with this starting class, and we're going to take the master key. That'll let us open some doors as soon as we can. And we always have to randomize our character's appearance, because that is crucial to the experience, I would say. So have you played Dark Souls since the last time we did a run, Sky?
No, I've been so terrible. Well, first of all, I didn't want to hurt the dog, right? Like, we talked about that before. I know it's like a wolf or something, but it's so cute. It's too cute.
Yes.
Second off, it does seem very intimidating to start, right? Like, it's one of those, like, you think of Dark Souls, like, it's this, like, infamous franchise, right? And it's like, where do I even start? So I think I might want to take more notes from you tonight, Lobos.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do my best. Okay, we're all randomized here. We look beautiful. We're in beautiful garb. We've got a nice, strong weapon already. It's got its downsides, but I think it'll do well. But I'm ready to go. So let's do a countdown and start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Have fun. Chat really wanted you to pick the Mimic with no clothes.
I bet they did, yeah. So that Mimic head also actually drains your health over time, so it would have been an extra bad choice. Okay, cool. I'll start explaining what exactly the whole run entails, but sometimes that very first room that I just ran past has a boss that can instantly one-shot me if we get bad luck, but luckily we didn't get that this time. In any case, welcome. I don't think this is really an official category. I just started doing these runs along like middle of last year, and I've kept them up because it's a lot of fun. But this is the original Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition on PC. And what we've got is the items and the enemies are randomized. However, the key items that we need in order to progress through the game, those are not randomized. That allows for a little bit more of a consistent run time, because otherwise it could be plus or minus multiple hours, and it's a little bit less predictable. Let's see. So we've got blacksmith giant hammer in this game, which is actually in a this is a speedrun category weapon in some cases. It's pretty powerful. The only downsides it has is it does lightning damage, and some enemies might be resistant to lightning damage, but we can see if we can find a second weapon just kind of as a backup. The bosses are randomized. However, in this first area, the asylum, it's always going to give us kind of an easier boss so that you can't just have to, you don't have to fight maybe like the Manus or one of the healthiest, toughest bosses in the game with just like a unupgraded little dagger or something. For whatever reason, we always have to save and quit because the boss is actually not inside of his room. So we'll do that. And I don't know if you noticed, my name is GDQ. That's my character's name. We briefly thought of that before the stream began. GDQ.
I do like the fashion statement. Chat was talking about that before. The garb, the color looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Hold on. Let me smash this demon here. Oh, don't kill me. So this is actually, a really strong weapon. As you can see, the boss is dying really fast.
Nice.
He's gonna try and punish my heal, but no. And okay, and he's dead.
Okay, nice,
right,
nice,
first
well
boss
done.
down. Yeah.
All right.
So now we are free to roam the world of Dark Souls, aka Lordran, and this game, even though it is, Demon Souls came out, and then Dark Souls 1 after that, and then of course all the other games we've come to know and love, Dark Souls 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring now. But Dark Souls 1's world is just crafted in such a way that I always love coming back to it, and a fresh run is so nostalgic. Because there's so many different ways you can go from the start of the game, and you can really just kind of let the playthrough dictate itself and figure out what weapons you're using and all that and what bosses you go to. And then with randomizers on top of that, it just opens it up tenfold, if not more. Now you have to start to think about, what areas could I get to right now where there might be some, a key item for progression or some upgrade materials. And the things that we really need for this run to succeed, nice rhyme, are a weapon, which honestly we could do it with just this weapon. Upgrade items, that was one, but not one that we need. And then we just need some levels, which there is a dupe glitch that we might be utilizing that will allow us to get some levels if we need them. I don't want to, as I mentioned last time, I don't like to abuse duping souls for levels too much because I like to keep it, a little reasonable. I only will dupe if I need the certain stats to wield a weapon or something. I quickly ran through that area and talked to a merchant. The merchants in this runs are probably the most valuable things you can find because they will sell lots of items and they're all randomized. So they could sell you a boss's soul, which you could use to get yourself a whole bunch of souls, which is the currency in the game. Or they might have a really good weapon, or they might have unlimited, upgrade materials for whatever weapon you're trying to use. Oh gosh. This guy's actually very dangerous at range.
Is that what happens when the Lorax gets angry?
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's what the lore of it is based off of. But,
oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, nice, yeah. Oh, this coming up here is one of the most dangerous enemies we can find in Randomizer. It is a ranged mage that shoots dark magic. And especially in early game, it's strong enough to probably do all of our health in one hit. Because it's a DLC enemy. And none of the enemies are scaled. So if we were to find, say, the final boss in the next boss's chamber, well, it would be at final boss strength. So we'd have to deal with that. Luckily, there's some really powerful weapons we can get to carry us on that. And the beauty of Dark Souls and in most cases, the rest of the Souls games is that if you are familiar enough with the movesets, you can, with proper execution, avoid all damage. So, in theory, we should be able to get it done with any weapon. But again, the high damage ones are preferred because they'll get us through it much quicker. Take out this. Oh god, that's a lot of damage to me right now. As you saw, ow. Okay, so all of these little souls of this or that will be items that we can use to give us some levels, or if we need to upgrade a weapon, that costs souls as well. So we're going to be on the lookout for those. And the souls of a brave warrior they're pretty decently sized. So for early game, that should help us with get a nice little pick-me-up. As far as the route that we're taking through the game, I usually opt to go this back way, which takes us straight to our blacksmith, and we can immediately get upgrades rolling, assuming we have the materials and the weapons. And there's not really any bosses on the way either, but we're almost there, and then we will start to kind of, get smashed. We'll figure out what we're doing with this playthrough. But this should, two-shot this guy. There we go. Okay, Twinkling Titanite is what we need to upgrade this hammer. So I'm looking forward to upgrading it there once we get there. And as far as the number of bosses, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but the goal here will be any %. However, if we are good on time, which I expect we will be, we're going to be able to go fight some optional bosses as well. Try and clear those all out. Unfortunately, with the setup that I'm using currently, the DLC actually just crashes a lot, so we won't be able to enter the DLC. But DLC bosses will be appearing potentially in place of other bosses, so we might see that Artorias or other bosses. Okay, I've been blabbing a while. Do you have any input here, Sky?
I'm really happy that you have a weapon early.
Yes.
So for those of us who didn't see the past episode of RNG where we had Lobos in there, which was part of the inspiration for this episode, it took Lobos forever to find a functional weapon, or a weapon thereof of any kind. So it's really nice to see Lobos start out with a weapon. That being said, how do you feel about your armor situation right now?
Well, like I said, the beauty of Dark Souls is if you know what you're doing, you don't even need armor necessarily. So this is actually kind of the preferred loadout, especially if you've ever seen speedruns. Most of the time, it's, the character's running naked with a massive weapon just so they can be as fast as they can and nimble. And right now I'm just popping some souls to get some health and some strength. I did find a very good backup weapon on the blacksmith right there. So that is going to help in the case that our hammer doesn't do the job. So I picked that up, and now we are going to take a trip down to the lower section of the world, and we're going to go to our first boss, which there is a boss right here. It's normally the bell tower gargoyles, or the bell gargoyles, but it's kind of a 1.5 boss fight, because midway through the fight, a second one drops down, and now you have to deal with 2 enemies. And in the randomizer, that can get really nasty. So I prefer to go to, because we have to ring 2 bells in order to progress, without glitches anyways. 1 bell up there by the gargoyles, the second bell after the boss Quelag, normally. And that's just a single boss fight. And so I'll take my chances, or not take my chances, by focusing a single boss before I try a double. And this also lets us go pick up more items and get more levels before we have to fight the double fight. That's kind of the first big roadblock of the randomizer. Once we're past
so someone in chat, by the way, had said something about a 1:11 time. What is your best time on these settings?
Ooh, okay, so my PB is 1 hour and 12 minutes and 31 seconds, which it was quite good because I got a good weapon very quickly. I actually started the game with a good weapon, like we did kind of here. And then I quickly found unlimited upgrade materials that just got the weapon maxed out really fast. And so that is part of the RNG, but then also what bosses get randomized to. If it gets randomized to, say, a starting area boss, we might kill it in 3-4 hits. But if it's an in-game DLC boss, it might take more like, 25, 30 hits, and now it's a more complicated fight, and just starts to waste time that way. So there's a lot of luck in getting a fast time. So I'm never really too worried about I've lost all this time on this split, because there's just so much randomness. It's kind of out of your hands. But are you saying that someone was predicting an hour and 11 minutes time?
Well, I think someone said, like one of those, like, this is the run type things, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering, like, I wonder if that's near your PB. And it turns out, yeah, it is.
It is. Yeah, sub 112 would be big PB. And we've got some good weapons for it. So it's really going to come down to whether we can find the upgrade materials that we're looking for. For both of the weapons, we need Twinkling Titanite. And if we're lucky, a merchant can actually sell unlimited amounts of them. So we might be able to just, with one stop, buy everything we need to get both of our weapons maxed out. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that. And if that does happen, we might be well on our way to it. We'll see. But we're heading down into the wonderful, wonderful Blight Town, which is a swampy place that everybody loves. We're heading to our first major boss here that is normally Quelag. All of the names of the original bosses are going to show up, even though the boss that we're fighting is not the same one. So if that's throwing anybody off, that we'll see. And forgive me if I'm a little coffee. I had the flu like 3 weeks ago, but I just had this lingering.
Oh my. Yeah.
So we're in Quelag's domain now, and I'm hoping one of the main problems with getting a DLC boss with a weapon like this is, like I said, some enemies are very resistant to elemental damage, and this hammer has a lot of lightning damage, which is what makes it good. But let's find out what boss we got here. Okay. Well, this boss is resistant to lightning damage, but he's not too bad. He's normally one half of a two-person boss fight. Oops. So he's not going to die quickly, but he will die relatively easily. And it seems like if I hit him twice, it staggers him. So that's very powerful for just controlling the fight and keeping our damage high. Unfortunately, we're also poisoned, so we have to make sure that we're not losing too much health while fighting him. Otherwise, one little stray hit could just surprise us and take us down. You'll see that in some cases, I'm using kind of tactics that you wouldn't think would work for a game like this, and that's just like circling around them. But it's really key in these From Software games to learn where you are safe to just walk, because the whole thing is just managing your stamina. And if you don't have to dodge and you can just walk around them like this, now I've got all that stamina that I can use to hit them, and that just increases the speed at which you're killing bosses and everything. And he should be dead. There we go.
Wow.
So first boss down, he dropped us some kind of trashy weapons. They're not trash. One other cool thing about Dark Souls is 99.9% of the weapons in the game are all viable. They become powerful in different ways. In this case, there's several different ways to upgrade weapons. And so those like other weapons that I got, they take a lot more materials, and they require some key items that are way out of our way in order to get strong. Whereas this weapon, all it needs is the upgrade material. We don't need the items are like the large ember or the very large ember required to upgrade those other weapons to max. So that's what kind of makes a weapon good for the speedrun. Throwing shade at the show. Yes. Oh, I did not mean to sit here, but that's okay. Well, now I'm going to level up. It's okay. We're now checkpointed here, which you might think is good. Okay. Now that we've done this, it does technically waste some time. I was just kind of autopiloting. but it's not a big time loss. The only downside is we need to run up out of Light Town, where we came down. And you might think, well, you can warp down here later, which we will now. You can warp down here later in the game once you get the ability to warp. But it's faster to just run down this whole area rather than ascend it. So, because you get to fall a lot, that saves time. But now we're safer. So if I happen to accidentally die or something, we're good. We don't have to do a whole run back just for this boss here. And we're going to do an optional boss here that's going to allow us to just get us a nice chunk of souls for padding.
It seemed like you were entirely in control of that last fight with the lightning hammer. It seems pretty overpowered in this game.
Yeah, it's very good. And the key of it really is just knowing the boss's patterns and where the safe spots are, when you can attack, when you need to play more defensively. And Dark Souls looks like a very simple game once you know what you're doing and you're controlling the fight in that sense. Because you really can. You can just lock down enemies, certain bosses anyways, with the right weapons and the right tactics. And I really like that because the first time you play a Dark Souls game, you're probably like, you're having tough times, you're banging your head against a wall trying to beat this boss, and maybe you finally beat it and you just barely made it with no heals and like 1 health left. And then you can master it to where you don't even need heals or, proper weapon or anything. All right, this is a spot where the boss is randomized and there's a cliff behind it. And what I would love to do, ideally, is get this boss to jump back off of the cliff. Oh, okay, there's one jump. Okay, but he's gonna explode, and that's gonna hurt. I'm hoping he's gonna jump back again, though. Oh, expand this. Probably gonna do. What's that?
I'm taking notes here. Crotches and butts. I remember that.
Crotches and butts. That's right.
No, that you taught me about that.
Oh,
that's
yes.
the weak points here. Crotches and butts.
You'll see a lot of crotches and butts in this one. All right, jump back. No. He's going up. I might as well deal some damage in case he doesn't give us the luck that we want. All he has to do is take like a step back, and he's falling off that cliff. And that'll insta-kill him. Which would be nice, right? Very fast. Come on. No, don't you want to run away, guy? Been saving some time. Go. No, you're going to say explode? Okay. Jump back. No. Not being very nice.
I mean, did you ask nicely, Lotus?
I thought I did. Nicely enough, anyways, to, what a demon might think of as being nice. Maybe that's the opposite. Maybe I need to be ruder because he is a demon. Okay, well, it turns out we're just going to pretty much kill him all the way. My guess is we're going to be 1 hit away from him dying, and then he's going to jump back.
I'm ready for this.
It's so much more common than you might think. Come on. Oh, stop it. Come on. Oh my gosh. Spamming explosions.
Yeah, chat's ready. He is being pretty stubborn.
He is. Okay. All right, I'm calling it here. Here comes the jump back. Let's see.
All right.
Nope. No, more explosions.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to give him one more chance to jump back. Let's see. Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? No, he's flying up. All right, that's it.
How are you like... Your sprite was almost like inside of the boss. Yeah. Like it was like like I couldn't tell where the boss ended and you started at 1 frame.
We became one. Okay, so I'm going to perform this really quick dupe glitch that's going to look like I'm just using the item, but instead we're not using it. There's a fun little glitch where, and this is only in the original PC launch of the game. Get some more health. Focus. Okay, cool. Basically, a lot of Dark Souls actions have a queuing system so that let's say you're dodging, and then after this dodge ends, you want to heal. So you dodge and then you're mashing the heal button. Like, I want to get the heal off. Dark Souls will cue that heal so that even if you don't hit it immediately after your dodge finishes, it'll just go right into the heal, which is nice. And what that means for the glitch purposes is we can use an item that has like a yes/no prompt, like this homeward bone does, which teleports us to the last checkpoint. And if we are in the middle of an action like rolling, and we queue up that homeward bone use and then pause the game, now we can go and use some other item from our inventory, and it fakes out the game, where it gives us the effect of the homeward bone, but then it uses whatever we chose from the inventory. And so using that, we can infinitely warp around back to our checkpoints, or the most valuable way of utilizing it is a boss's soul you could use infinitely and just give yourself all of the souls that you could ever want to level up and purchase items and whatnot. So that's the dupe from Prepare to Die edition. There are newer dupes now that are even more ridiculous, that basically let you overflow the amount of items you have and just give yourself 99999 of everything. And that's in the newer version of Dark Souls. But for this purpose, we'll just be doing that kind of thing. So I'm making my way back up out of Blighttown and hitting these checkpoints along the way, just in case. You never know. With Randomizer, you could step around the corner and then get exploded in one hit by something.
I don't know, you look pretty indestructible right now from the way you've been fighting so far.
It's a toss-up. Like I said, if we find those magic casters from the DLC, they can just probably even with my health now, kill me in one hit. So it's dangerous until it's not, and vice versa. In Randomizer, you just never know. It's very easy to get complacent and then suddenly, oh, hello, Snake Man. Okay, fine. He's going home. He's clocked out. He's clocked out for the day. I was going up, he was going down. You know, we're trading shifts. Yeah.
The enemy was just so nonchalant about you.
They're focused. They're focused on climbing out of here. So unfortunately, normally we would, like I said, we would warp back all the way to kind of like where our blacksmith was, and then we can continue the game from there, but okay. That enemy will do an AoE, like, that slows us down horrendously, but I happen to get out of the range of it, so I don't have to worry about it. This enemy will shoot a volley of needles at us. Those will do a lot of damage if they hit us. Oh, this guy wants to toxic me. Toxic is a terrible status effect. It lasts a very long time. Although I do have some items to cleanse that now. So. All right, so yeah, as far as our pace, I'm sure we're much better than that other time where we were just trying to find a weapon desperately. And now we have 2 weapons. So I think optional bosses are going to be on the table for this one.
I think you took your weapon from the past. You know, we were looking for one last time. Now you have 2. I think you just have the one.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just be overflowing in weapons and no pants at all. Do we have any pants yet? Okay, we've gotten 2 pants.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you picked up at least 1 pair of pants.
I like that you've been tracking that.
Oh, of course, after last time, how could I not?
I guess so. The second weapon here that I would like to use, if we just need heavy physical damage, is this Black Knight Great Axe. There are a set of knights in the game that they're placed around the world, and they do not respawn. And if you get lucky and you get the weapon off of them, almost all of the Black Knight weapons are just incredible damage-wise, and easy to upgrade, that sort of thing. And the Black Knight Great Axe is one of those weapons. So we have one. We do need some more stats in order to wield it. Oh, here's a vendor we can check as well. He's also going to give us an item just for talking to him. Okay, it was clothes. A shirt.
Very.
Yes,
That is
oops. And then if I join his covenant, which I accidentally said no to, there we go. He will become a merchant, and we can see if he's got some nice items for
No.
us. He's got some poppable souls. Havel's ring is a nice ring
Come
that
again.
will let us wear a lot more equipment and still move fast. But it's not the most important thing right now. So now we're going to go check. First of all, the room before this boss is almost certainly the worst room in the run. It is just full of enemies, and it's very small, and we have to get past them all in order to reach the boss. And depending on the randomizer, it could be an okay time, or it could be an absolutely terrible time. Frog, basilisk, I'm sorry. Let's see what we got this time. Seems quiet enough. Right. Okay. All right, I think we're good. We got through them, no problem. Usually enemies will block the way, and then there will be other enemies behind them that are attacking and dealing a ton of damage. Now the second part is to see what bosses we get here. Okay, so the second boss is going to be that centipede demon. And our first boss is... Oh. Okay. It's a not very fun DLC boss that is very resistant to our damage type. So, I saw someone mention this boss at the beginning of the stream. They cursed it. They cursed it. I'm going to give this a...
Who did it?
Who did it? I'll just like to show you how much damage this is going to do. I need the boss to do an attack, though, because... What? Is he... Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and that's like with a really strong weapon. I just don't... Oh, he does stun quickly. I'll give it my best, but when I die, because I probably die, I will, we'll go somewhere else and try and figure something. Okay. Stagger? Ooh. I know it's 2 hits to stagger, so I can be a little bit aggressive when it might seem very dangerous. Ow. Okay. There we go. So yeah, quick stagger. Ooh. In Dark Souls also, whenever you level up, you actually gain defense as well, just passively. So when we're low level, we are really low defense. And one of the reasons that this boss is a pain is he has a few other abilities that he would normally use if we fought him in the base game. But because of the randomizer, they disabled these abilities because they can kind of make him fall out of the world or do some kind of crazy shenanigans like that. But that means that he uses all the rest of his abilities more often and gives us less opportunities to kind of punish him for those other moves. So we're almost to the point where the second boss is going to spawn. What would be a saving grace for us here is if either of them will hurt the other. That can happen, but a good chunk of bosses will have friendly fire off. Let's see what happens. Okay, it doesn't look like that hurt him. Oh my. If I could get rid of one of them... Oh no. Then everything would be okay. But... they're both pretty strong enemies. I don't want to knock his hand off. Hello. You're not hurting each other, are you? Okay, I'm going to try and focus the Sanctuary Guardian and take him down, but it's going to be kind of tough. Hello. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Anybody in chat catch that last camera angle?
What's that? Oh, yeah, the camera is kind of the boss on this centipede boss.
Yeah.
It starts, especially if you try to lock on, your camera's everywhere, and it's so hard to tell what's going on. All right, let's see. Oh, no. We're almost halfway down on this Guardian. They are not hurting themselves, as you can see. Or hurting each other, I should say. Uh-oh. Lightning, yeah. Oh, we missed. Yeah, so at this point, I'm just going to jump off. It's going to actually save us time if we just leave sooner. I probably should have left as soon as I saw what we got, but that's okay.
I appreciate the effort. So what are you going to do? You're going to try to find something better, like a better weapon for that specific situation, or get more defense, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, so we're going to go check some side bosses. We're going to check some other merchants. We're going to see if we can get some souls just to give us some equipment. It will make us a little more defensive. We would really like to find upgrade materials to get our weapon in shape. I have one so far. I didn't spend it yet. More than likely, I will focus more on the other weapon that we have. However, we need enough levels to be able to use it. So, since we were considering just... Oh, this is a bad situation. No.
What was that? Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was a funny situation. The big mushroom is... You know, he doesn't seem that dangerous, but his punches pack a wallop. And if he punches me, it's probably a one-shot with my level and health right now. But he also pinned me in, so I did my best to try and jump back across the gap. It did not work. That skeleton wheel is one of the worst enemies in the game as well. It will just roll into you. Okay, hold on. Don't worry about it. We can save and quit and kind of reset the enemies and put us back up top. Hopefully I don't fall off immediately. Okay.
Richard, did you replay the mushroom? I just saw that.
Instant replay. I love it. Amazing.
Oh my God. Is that your emote, Lobos? Let's see. It's the mushroom. No, it's somebody else. Somebody has the mushroom character dance in there.
That's I love the little mushroom emote. There's baby mushrooms and there's adult mushrooms, and the baby mushrooms are very cute. But then if you mess with them, you know, the daddy mushroom is there to dole out some justice. All right. So again, we're just picking up some other items. Havel's leggings is like the tankiest armor in the game. All of Havel's stuff. Okay, here's that worst enemy in the game. There we go. It's gonna just do so much magic damage. Oof. I want to make sure it dies. Okay. Clear this out a little bit. We'll touch a checkpoint here. Oh. It's a little cheesy, but whenever you save and quit in the original Dark Souls and most of the other ones, it'll reset enemy positions, which if you're just trying to get an objective done, you're like, I just need to sit at this bonfire. Oh, I respawned to this guy. Okay. Then it's a very quick way of doing that. Mosquito. Mosquito, please. Oh, wait, actually, I wanted to go to the merchant, right? So let's go see. Burn, baby, burn.
I did not understand entirely what I just witnessed there.
There's a lot of little enemies with their own projectiles here. And again, I'm so fragile at the beginning of the game that if I'm hit... Oh, wait, what did these drop? So this thing, yeah, shoots fire. So that's what killed me. I'm just going to grab this item. It's probably not worth it. It's just a single dragon. Alrighty. We'll go do another boss soon. The way the randomizer works, by the way, it doesn't one-for-one swap around all the bosses. You could get multiple of the same boss in a run, which is to say that we could get a lot of really tough-to-kill bosses in a run, or vice versa, a lot of really easy to kill. Okay, this is good. We got a Soul of Ornstein, which is a boss soul that will allow us to... Oh my gosh, and Twinkling Titanite. Okay, hold on. This could be our ticket to the rest of the run. So I'm going to be using the dupe glitch, as I mentioned before, and it's going to be using our regular heal instead of the Soul of Ornstein here. And that's allowing us to just get, as long as we keep doing this, we'll keep getting souls. And I know I'm duping a lot, but every single Twinkling Titanite is 5,000 souls. And we need to do 2 full weapons worth of upgrades, and it takes 10 Twinkling Titanite per weapon. So, 20. Can we buy unlimited? Oh, it's only 1. It's only 1. Okay, I got all excited. Here's another weapon we'll just grab, just in case. It's a big great sword, very heavy. Ooh, I like the Chloranthy ring. Sorry, I'm just saying a lot of things, but I like what I'm seeing here. I'm shopping. Find blessings. Okay. All right, so it wasn't as wondrous as I was hoping, but we're going to go kill a nearby boss. And we got... Oh. He teleported me back so he could backstab me. That's how rude of a man he is, but... Now we're going to go see what another solo boss is instead of a dual fight. Oh,
yeah, the dual fights, especially where they don't hurt each other, just seem like an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it's not, it's not balanced. They're not balanced to alternate attacks and, oh gosh. There's a lot of projectiles being shot at me. Another big mushroom.
Oh, hey, there's your friend.
Oh, my friend, yeah.
The giant mushroom.
And then there's the bone wheel. That's what a bone wheel does.
Oh.
That was unfortunate because I had to jump over the flaming barrel, and then the bone wheel was just, well, he was just there to take care of business once I got out of there. No, I didn't want to level up because the reason that I duped all of those souls was just to get the upgrade materials. I should have checked before I duped them all. I don't mind throwing all these souls away because, like I said, I'm not trying to just absolutely power level and trivialize everything. I do want it to be a little bit of a challenge. That's just like, I don't know, that's my focus. I like to play. So the only reason I duped those souls was to buy the upgrade materials, of which there was only 1 instead of 20 like I needed. But there might be another one right here. Let's see.
I do want to take a moment to shout out Richard, who's working tech, by the way. That's who's working the death cam, as you all have been calling that. So thank you, Richard, for the instant replay cam.
Amazing.
Appreciate all the work you do here at Games Done Quick. Couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, that live production sounds awesome. I'll have to remember when I have a funny moment or a death, I'll have to look over and see the replay. Okay, this is one of the 4, kind of pivotal bosses of the game towards the end of the game. So it's not going to be an easy fight, but it could be worse. He is weak to lightning, which is nice. I'm on a very skinny bridge, which is not nice. Oh, no. Okay. So there's a thing with Souls games and dodging where you can see how he's slashing left to right or right to left. When you dodge, you don't want to dodge with the attack because you might lose your invulnerability frames and the attack is still active. But that can be tricky. Uh-oh. No, we're good. When you're on a
control. Wow. Anyways, go ahead.
No, you're good. When you're on a narrow bridge like this and you're like, oh, I need to dodge through this attack, but also the edge of a cliff is there, it can be a little tricky to, in the moment, figure out what you want to do. Okay. Now usually a dragon will show up on this bridge. Excuse me, a drake. But I don't think he will in the randomizer. I'm going to play this safe, unlock a little shortcut. And then we've got some stuff to upgrade some weapons now. Oh, right. And I can level in order to use the Black Knight Great Axe. And I will be doing that. Here's another Papa Mushroom. This.
No, don't kill him.
No, he's gonna... the opposite. The opposite. He's a heavy hitter, like I said. Didn't one-shot me, though, so that's good.
Okay.
Okay, get a checkpoint. Now we're actually making our way, a roundabout way, to get to the blacksmith, where we're going to upgrade and get our levels needed for the Great Axe. And then that should help us. It's still going to be a tough fight that we're going to have to get through with that double fight. But we'll be stronger. I can give us some more levels and a lot of business going on here. Okay. All right.
Richard, did Richard just play a replay of the mushroom just giving Lobos a big wallop?
I love it. I love it. He deserves it. He doesn't get a lot of screen time, so I appreciate it.
That was great.
Like I said at the beginning, like one of my things that I love about Dark Souls 1 world is it's so interconnected in interesting ways. So we were able to go completely different paths from the beginning, but now we've wound up in the same place. And they do a very good job of making you feel completely lost until suddenly you open that shortcut and you realize, wait a minute, I've been here all along, like, and now I'm on the other side of this door that I found, 2 hours ago or something. So I'm going to dupe some more souls. Yes, I could have used those other ones, but
I like how you're admitting about the dupe thing as if it's like some kind of fault. No one here is judging you, Lobos, for duping it, so it's okay. Like,
I know.
we all do glitches.
Technically, the fastest thing would be to give me, a lot of... Oh, whoops, I don't do that. Okay. The fastest thing would be to just out-level everything and give myself so much power. In some ways, like only to a certain extent, and then it's kind of like you're not getting a whole lot done with those extra levels or whatnot. I'm gonna get that to +2. I'll level this. Why not? Why not? And then we need to have enough stats first of all for the weapon, which that should be enough. And then I really need enough stats to be able to fast roll, because the more, see, this is a mid-roll, medium roll, and that is slow and means that it's very likely I can get punished by, especially in the fight with two enemies that are not balanced to be in a fight with each other. I need to be as quick as I can. So we're going to just get enough levels so that we are quickly rolling, and then we will go. So I got this weapon to +2. It should do a nice amount of damage. The maximum, still mid-rolling. Still mid-rolling.
Now, is this dupe trick really hard to do, Lobos? Like, how is this for someone who might be new to this randomizer to learn?
I would say you practice it, I don't know, just a few times, honestly. Once you get an idea, it is kind of a little easy to mess up, but it's not going to... I guess the worst thing that could happen is you accidentally consume the item and then it's gone forever. But there's multiple items that you can use to this effect. And most of the time you'll just you'll mess it up and then you'll just have to initiate the glitch again. Okay, there we go. We got it fast. But yeah, it's a very old glitch. It's only on Prepare to Die edition, which you can't even buy officially anymore because they released Dark Souls Remastered, and that got rid of this glitch, but it added new ones, which people now use even more. So I've been playing this same game for so long, even before the remastered came out, that I'm old school. I just still do the old glitches because, oh gosh. So for some reason in the randomizer, sometimes enemies will know where you are way ahead of time. And that's what happened there. So I'm just going to save and quit so that they only see me as I run in. Hello. Okay, good. Good. Skeleton. Okay. So we are back to this fight. I don't think I can wear any clothes along with this because it's a very heavy weapon.
Yeah, the chat really liked the witch's hat when you picked it up.
Aha, okay. I'll work to get some more equipment, loads. So, oh wait, I just remembered there's a ring that I can get that'll do exactly that. We'll do that after this.
I was going to say, this seems like a bad time to be thinking about something like that, Lobos.
Well, the kind of run that you always got to be thinking. Because sometimes you might get a fight like this and you're like, well, this is not going well. Like, what can I do to have a better time here? But as you can see, I've only done 2 attacks and this thing is already that damaged. I want to, before the next boss activates, I want to make sure I get a heal in. Okay, all right. Now let's try and damage this guy. The only problem is it's also a very slow weapon, so it's very easy to get caught while you're trying to... Okay. There we go. It's a good stagger. Okay, nice. Just a couple more hits. Now I have to deal with the centipede demon from a distance while also damage... Okay. Okay. 3, 4. Okay, good. One more hit. It's going to do 4 attacks here, and I'm going to go in. All right, nice. Now all we have to worry about is the centipede demon, and the fight is honestly 3 times easier, because once you add 1 extra enemy in a fight, that's where the difficulty comes in.
All right, so what'll it be? Crotch, butter, tail this time?
You won't be able to tell because the camera is going everywhere. Whenever the camera intersects like an enemy's body, a lot of times it'll just kind of fling it. And so that's what happens with this guy. Let's see. Oh, see, I don't even know where I am. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I don't even know where you're trying to hit either. I mean, it's working, whatever you're doing. But...
Hit the boss. That's all that matters. There we go. Okay, so we got him.
Nice.
Now we're in pretty good shape. We've got our weapon. We're only going to get stronger and stronger from here on out.
I did not say butter tail. I said butt or tail.
Buttered tail.
I don't know what a butter tail is.
I mean, like a lobster tail. I don't know. He kind of looked like a lobster.
Yeah. Maybe someone in chat's hungry.
Oh, I'm hungry now. But yeah, no, that's understandable.
I really do like the axe though. It looks cool.
It is cool. It has a really kind of unique moveset with it too. Now this is intended dropping, so don't get too scared. Let's see what we can buy from this merchant. Ideally, nope. Okay, we didn't get our upgrade materials, but that's okay. It's okay. There's a couple more opportunities for merchants that could sell us upgrade materials to make us nice and strong. But now we're heading past kind of I would say the first third of the game and into the second third, which we're heading into Sin's Fortress, which it's an awful area the first time you do it. It's just full of traps and like this button here will activate a floor trap that shoots things, and there's pendulums that you have to avoid, and really just a fun house. They call it Sin's Fun House instead of Sin's Fortress. This has a endearing name. But yeah, we got to run through all this, and then there's a boss at the top, and then we're on to, I'd say, the middle of the game. There is a merchant on the way up here too that you'll want to check.
Oh, we know how much you love shopping.
I love shopping. It's just the potential. There's so much potential. You never know. Things could go from great to amazing, or from terrible to amazing in an instant. Shops. Oops. Poor little guy. Falling boulders, more floor traps. The boulder's going to come our way, but we're going to utilize kind of a hyper armor effect where when we dodge through it backwards, it doesn't knock us down. It lets us live our lives and just make it through the boulder, which is where we need to go anyway. So fun little tricks. For anybody who's interested in running Dark Souls Randomizer, maybe you haven't before, maybe the modding sound. Oh gosh, the mushrooms are everywhere. Maybe the modding sounds a little daunting. Oh god, it's not too tough to run. Everything is available, on Nexus Mods. That's where you can get the mods. You can talk on Discord, my Discord. There's Soul Discord. There's all sorts of Discords you can find to get whatever information you need to get the mod up and running. And like I said, this isn't really even an official category. I just love doing Dark Souls Randomizer, and I was like, why don't we time it and see how that works? So I started running it. And it's been a lot of fun. It's a good way for me to play this game that I have, literally, I think somewhere in the vein of 17 to 20,000 hours, and just, play it fresh. Oh, hello. Like this doesn't happen in the base game. What is this guy doing? Actually, maybe it could, because this snake does appear in this area.
Is that the one that took the shift off and now it's chilling over by the... Oh, come
That's the same guy, yeah.
Was that necessary?
I couldn't sit at the bonfire. I just wanted to rest,
Okay, all right.
He was trying to come back and get me to work a double, and I wasn't feeling it, so. Now I got my rest in, though. I'm feeling much better. So our merchant is just up ahead. We have to do this jump. And there's an interesting thing with the original Dark Souls release that, well, I'll talk about it in a second. Let me browse this store. Okay. Okay. Another. It is. We found it. We found the mother lode. Okay. So he is selling unlimited twinkling titanite, which is what we need to upgrade this weapon, and we can just buy everything that we need. I'm just going to buy, 24. Now, if we really wanted to, in some very specific cases, the blacksmith giant hammer, the hammer, the mallet we were using before, might be better than this one. So we'll get everything upgraded, and then now we'll have the choices are ours. So yeah, that was very, very fortunate. Those items were cheap. They were unlimited supply, and now I am confident we are going to soar through most of this game. So I think that means I can be pretty confident that we're going to be doing some optional bosses too, which I don't usually do a lot on my stream when I play this, because I just want to see what kind of speedy time I can get.
I mean, we can still record the initial speedy time.
That's fair. That's fair. It's with the things that we've had to do. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to personal best. But my gosh. Ooh, yeah. So Gargoyle's hanging out up there. But see, this weapon is it's not even fully upgraded, and that was also a fortunate boss that spawned. But dealt with him very quickly. So this is Anor Londo, which is it's a beautiful place. But it's also, I would say, the place that will make or break whether or not you complete Dark Souls, because of the boss in this area, the infamous Ornstein Smoke. Which we won't necessarily see because they're randomized into different bosses, but it is a double fight, and they are a tough duo. And a lot of people quit Dark Souls once they get to this point. I need to save and quit. Sit at this bonfire here.
Have you ever had to take a break from Dark Souls, or do you find it's always been pretty good, pretty steady for you?
In the past, I'll do sometimes like a horror month where I do nothing but horror games for October, but maybe I'll throw in Dark Souls here and there. I definitely, in the past, have gotten burned out on so much Dark Souls. But now, we've got Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring. It's almost like I could just cycle between them all, and they would be kind of fresh by the time I get back to them. Not to mention just all of the awesome new games that are coming out as well. So it's honestly, it's so hard to try and play all the games that I want to play. And I'm sure that is not just a me issue. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way as well.
But still, there's so much selection's really good for you, and you can kind of stay within the same genre that you seem to be very passionate about.
Oh yes, it's wonderful. Like I was into Dark Souls. I started streaming Dark Souls a lot before it really gained a whole lot of popularity. It was kind of like a cult classic. You know, there was a very passionate portion of the community. I did want to do a jump there, but I just did it wrong. I'll redo it. But yeah, it was so early on, and then they just started putting out more and more content, and it's been popular with a lot of gamers, and so I am blessed that something that is like my game is getting so much attention and getting so many new updates, and that From Software is just continuing to develop amazing games, and I get to benefit from that, so, and enjoy it. Okay, this is a bit of a nasty situation. This is probably, I guess, oh boy, highest level, I don't know, second or, like, he's like the in-game boss of the DLC, kind of. Him or Manus, the dragon. But luckily, he's stuck over there. But he can breathe fire from half a mile away, and that, if you get caught in it, especially with no armor on, I would get absolutely destroyed. But luckily we made it past it. So. Now we're passing over the infamous rafters in Dark Souls, which normally has well-armored knights wielding great bows, and you have to run on these very narrow pathways while they're shooting these huge arrows that are just meant to completely knock you off. And you have to start running all the way back from where we initially touched that bonfire. But they're randomized into other things, which doesn't necessarily make it easier. Like, this guy's in my way.
What is that?
Oh, that's...
okay, what was it?
It's like a giant flan, but he's called a Chaos Eater. We lovingly call him a toothy puppy, because he's cup-shaped, and then inside the cup it's just lined with spikes. And there's an area of the game where you can drop down into like a watery area, and if you fall in the top of them, they actually catch you and spin you like a blender in all their spikes. And it's kind of horrifying, but you know, if you meet them face to face, they're not that intimidating. In fact, they're kind of cute.
Chad seems to be very sad that, as they call it, a toothy cup puppy seemed to fall to its doom. Totally unimpeded by you. You didn't do a thing, and they just slid off the roof, you know?
Yes, we'll go with that. But
just slid right off.
Yeah. It was a shame. You know, watch your step. They really should have some signs just so that they be careful when they're walking around up there. I decided to come check this basement, which has 5 different item checks, which you would think is great and consistently offer you some good items. But I want to say this is, I think, the 59th or 60th run of this I've done since the middle of last year. And I think maybe once it has given us a good item. So I don't know what the odds are of that, but they're stacked against that poor basement. But I'm determined to continue to check it every time, and I believe in basement. Okay, we're approaching now the arena of Ornstein and Smo, which will now be randomized to Demon Fire Sage and Priscilla. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I'm probably going to kill this demon because being far away from this demon is very dangerous. The interesting counterpart to that is Priscilla she turns invisible, like actually invisible. So she's there somewhere, and I need to be careful not to just rush in and then get hit by her because she will do a lot of damage. It's bound to happen. Oh, she hit the demon fire sage. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
She just did so much damage to it. I didn't think she could friendly fire, but she does, and boy, does she do it well. That is pretty good. So I'm actually going to use her. You know, I'm going to enlist her services. And now okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the way this fight works is it's a two-person fight, and then whichever one you kill first, the other one will empower itself. Oh, good. It's the final boss of the DLC. It's Manus. But luckily we have a good weapon. So this is, I think, the healthiest boss in the game. He has 6,666 health. So it's going to be a little bit of a fight, but luckily like I said, we have a good weapon. I really should have upgraded this before I came here. I forgot to. But we'll get it upgraded, and then we'll be doing even more damage. Uh-oh. I might die here. No, I think I'm good. Okay, I'm okay for now. Let's see. He's got a big wombo combo. Full heal go, full heal go. Nice. We're good. Saved. Oops. I like fighting this boss. Halfway through, he's going to start using some magic. Probably now. Yep. Wow. It was one of the first bosses I really learned really well, I think, and very satisfying once you know all the ins and outs of a boss and just how to dodge and how to deal damage. That's the beauty of the Souls. Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll be fine. This attack is the dangerous one because if you get caught, like I did earlier, he'll hit you all 5 times or whatever this attack does. The lighting in this arena is really interesting when he uses his magic spells. It's so bright and unexpected. Come on, Manus. The danger of these boss fights really makes it such that you want the boss to do something and then you respond. Because if you just start attacking, well, the boss is ready to hit you and you're very likely to get hit and punished hard. Okay. Waiting. That's his last strike. Couple more hits here. One more, but don't get greedy. All right, we should be good. Nice. Okay, so that's another kind of wall to get past in Randomizer. Once again, a double boss fight. The more enemies in a fight, kind of the more difficult. Assuming they're kind of boss's power level.
Well done.
Thank you. I'm going to have to, for speed, throw a throwing knife at this lady. She's not a real lady. She is an illusion, so it's okay. It's better that way. But also it's for speed, so unfortunately. Must be dispelled, and that removes the illusion from this place, but also grants us instantly the ability to warp. So now we can start retraversing the world almost in a Metroidvania sense, because we're going to actually disable these walls that are usually blocking your path to some of the latter bosses of the game. Once we place this Lord Vessel. If we watched that cutscene, you would see that's what happens. But I need to upgrade this weapon, and I need to buy a key item that's going to allow us to our next boss in the forest. We've really been... Oh, we actually have a lot of pans. I didn't realize. Still getting...
Literally everything.
This is a very well-balanced run. I'm very happy with how it's going. So I'm glad we had this opportunity to set things right compared to the first time I was on here. We didn't even get to finish the run.
No, I know.
That's the, you know, you got to roll with the punches with the randomizer. Sometimes it's a easy run through, and sometimes not so much. There we go. Oh yeah, Havel's ring. Okay. Yeah, good call, chat. I will pick that up after this boss. The Havel's ring is the ring I mentioned early on that will allow us to wear more equipment and be lighter. Well, not be lighter, but we can wear more before we are too heavy. And with this big, heavy weapon, very good thing to have. Hello. The arena that we're going to normally, it's another good weapon, that crystal halberd. Wow. Chock full of good weapons. The arena we're going to is the big fluffy dog that hopefully we don't see them in this run and don't have to fight them. But it's Fluffy Dog's house.
Yeah, we haven't seen Fluffy Dog yet.
Not yet. At this point, we've got really good damage. Probably just start focusing on health and also endurance, which gives us more stamina and also lets us wear more equipment. But other than that, man, this is smooth sailing. We have to go kill this boss over here because it will drop us a ring that lets us fight one of the final bosses. We cannot fight without. All the things we'll be doing here, with the exception of once we go and start doing the optional stuff, it's kind of just the main crit cap. Crystal halberd. Oh, I see. A lot of people kind of have some complaints about this second half of the game where they, you know, I'm not 100% sure of the development cycle for it, but it seemed like some areas were a bit rushed and they just kind of like threw enemies together. You won't be able to tell with the randomizer. I love the game all the way through. And yeah, this is something that you gotta deal with sometimes in game development. If I watch this cutscene, we'll get to see Sif. Sif is the puppy. Let's watch a little bit so they'll show up. But then we'll see what boss replaces them. And hopefully it's not Sif. Ah, there's Sif. Yay. Okay. Oh, it is! Oh, no! It's Sif. Randomizer, how could you? Oh. Well, I had to say something. Well, you won't be able to see it, luckily. We're just going to have to stand under its legs and flail our weapon wildly. It'll be over soon, Sif.
I always feel so bad. I love this puppy.
And
I'm sorry, puppy.
I didn't want to.
It's okay. I know it had to probably happen. This puppy's such a baby.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry,
Puppy
Sif.
done.
Oh.
No. I don't.
The best friend.
Okay, but I can't let Puppy distract me. I gotta go get Apple's ring.
I know. It's still the best boss, though. Best friend.
Very good boss. Okay, so this ring, like I said, will let us equip more stuff, which is good. That means we can have more defense. Again, I'm duping this homeward bone, just so we can travel around without having to throw away. You can travel by default without a homeward bone, but what am I thinking? Okay. If you do, you can travel, but you just have to throw away all of the souls that you're carrying currently. It's kind of a fail-safe if the player gets stuck or if you just need to get back to checkpoint. You can throw away everything you've accrued and get back there. Put the ring on here. Oh, I forgot about Chloranthy ring. Oh my gosh. Chloranthy ring increases your stamina regeneration, which is massive in a game like this where you're really focusing on keeping your stamina topped off. So we got a bit of run through. Oh, what's that?
I was saying the process seems a lot smoother this time. I'm not sure if it's probably a combination of the weapon, the routing seems pretty good overall this time.
Yeah. And I've just been doing the run so much recently that, I know exactly where I'm going. I know what we need to do. And yes, definitely the weapon being good early has, here's the cup puppy again. He's got a lot of eyes. But, yeah, just even this run at the beginning was a little sketchier than normal because of the gargoyles fight, the two big enemies that we had to fight at the same time. That's tougher than I usually have. But it can get tougher than that too, so you just never know. I avoided hitting the little baby mushroom, luckily. The baby mushrooms will run at you and then they'll trip. That's so cute.
Oh.
We left the baby mushroom.
Not like the big one that just swings its fist.
The big one knows what it's doing. It's out there to punch. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to do a skip here known as the Duke skip. I remember I was starting to explain this earlier, but the original Dark Souls doesn't function properly if you go past 30 frames per second. And what it basically means is gravity will pull you down quicker and you cannot jump out as far. If you go horizontally, your horizontal momentum will just end sooner. And so I'm turning off the 60 FPS in order to do this legendary skip called the Duke skip. First try easy, which allows you to avoid having to go through a lot of kind of tedium in this area. And there's actually a scripted fight that you're supposed to die to. And then you get put in jail, you break out of jail, and then you wind up over where we're at now. So the Duke skip, it's a really interesting area because it's this library, but there's all these central staircases that you rotate, and then the staircases will get you access to new places, and it can be really confusing on a first playthrough. But with the Duke skip, we don't have to do any of that, luckily.
I was going to say, you made that skip look so easy. Now, how long does that take to typically learn?
It really depends because, I've been doing that skip probably for a decade, and there will still be times that I just go to do it and I just mess it up 5-6 times in a row. It's tricky. But I think if you work on it, you'll probably start to land it consistently after, 45 minutes, an hour of practice. Because you just have to start to learn this positioning works well for this. It's kind of a two-parter. You have to roll off onto the banister of the elevator as it goes down. That would be step one. Figuring out that spacing is not the hardest, but it takes some effort. And then the harder part is the second roll, it's kind of weird how it works. There's normally in that area, there is an invisible wall that blocks you from doing that. But on a particular level, that cuts out, and then you can roll onto the banister, but you kind of clip through some geometry. So just watching other people do it and figuring out where you need to roll and the timing of it. especially with a lot of videos out these days. You should be able to start nailing it soon.
We have a question from the chat. Does Duke Skip work in Remastered?
Yes, absolutely it does. The game is largely the same outside of some mechanics that they changed to fix some, some glitches like I mentioned earlier. They updated some visual effects. They increased the default resolution. Everything works in 60 FPS. You don't have to worry about toggling to 30 FPS if you want to do like a long jump or anything. But yeah, you can still do that on Remastered. So if you want to give that a try, fire up some Remastered. Duke Skip is an important one for speedruns. So sometimes an enemy can follow me into this arena and we have to deal with the enemy and the boss. This crystal that I just broke is for the boss that's normally here. And the boss is normally invulnerable or basically instantly heals up its damage until you break that crystal. And in the randomizer, no matter what boss is here, you still have to do that. Or it will just constantly heal its health all the way back. Okay.
Is the surface you're on slippery?
It is not slippery.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I don't think they have done any sort of slippery terrain in Dark Souls. And that's a really good thing. Let's hope that the developers did not just hear you say that, because we'll be in for a rude awakening in the next game. I could be wrong.
I hope not.
Yeah. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there is, though. Okay, so this is the point where we can save a little bit of time because I made a mistake earlier. And normally we would have to run back down to this this lava depths area, but I accidentally sat at a bonfire, and though it is slower, now we can just warp down here. Because in order to activate a warp point, you actually have to sit at a bonfire and set it as your checkpoint. The downside of that in the early game is now, since we sat here, we had to run all the way back up where we came from, instead of just warping back to towards where our progress was. So, but now we warped down here, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. Again, I come from a more retro history of gaming. And, we're used to all different kinds of terrain, right? You kind of have that kind of like you're slogging through sand, and then you have your ice levels, your water levels, etc. So it does very much surprise me that they didn't think to put everyone on an icy terrain. Or even a terrain that breaks apart as you're fighting the boss. Do you got anything like that?
Breaks apart as you're fighting. The more games come out, the longer it takes me to have to start to process things. So I have to sit here and go, okay, what about in this game?
No,
I get you. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you get it.
Actually, we are on the way to a boss where the floor does fall out. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's pretty infuriating on the first playthrough because you have to do a 2.5 minute run to get back to the boss. And the boss is basically, it's a really interesting design that it's basically a pair of huge arms, and you have to destroy these two things on the sides of it. And once you destroy the two things on the sides, you can go in the middle of this big tree, and there's a little insect that you kill, and that's the end of the boss. It's kind of a gimmicky fight where you're just supposed to complete the objectives. But during that, as you complete the objectives, the floor starts to fall out, and then these huge arms can just sweep you into the abyss. And guess what? You have to do that 2.5-3 minute run all over again. And it can be a little frustrating.
Chad is saying that there is no escort missions. That's good. When you said that right away, my first thought was the Natalia escort missions from GoldenEye.
Oh, yes.
I have done those. I know exactly what you mean by that.
Yes. That one where she has to go work on the computer and they all start shooting from all around on
they can come down the stairs.
My gosh. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't want to think about it. There are some quests that are not. Oh gosh. Okay, it's Manus again. We get to do the final boss again.
Oh, but Manus is waving at you.
At least we're upgraded now, so now we're gonna deal more damage to him. There are some quests. There are some really interesting NPC quests, and the way that they do it in Dark Souls is very... You really have to hunt for these friendly NPCs, and they might tell you kind of a general idea of what they're trying to do, and maybe you help them defeat an enemy or something, and then they'll just disappear, and you have to like either keep an eye out for them or just stumble upon them. And then, you'll do quest lines like this. And some of them, you need to keep them alive when they're fighting. Like I said, like another NPC. Trying to think if there's like a direct escort quest. Maybe not. But you do have to keep them alive. And it's not so bad, though. It's not like the escort quests of old, where they're just moving so horrendously slowly.
One thing I love about your playing style in general, especially during the Dark Souls stuff, is like you never seem like stressed out. There's very few gaming noises. You are just cool, calm, and collected the entire time.
Dark Souls 1, I was saying earlier today, I can't, but I could say that I could do it in my sleep. So this game and talking while doing this game is just so second nature to me, because I literally streamed this as a job for like a decade or more at this point. But yeah, I love it. It's just, these games are comfy, and I know for some people it's just infuriating and absolutely rage-inducing. But I don't know, I like to, I guess, kind of show the opposite of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of different streamers out there, and there's nothing wrong with being animated either.
No.
But like, when I tune into your stream, Lobos, I just always get this like cool, calm, collected, all this difficult stuff going on. There you are, just like big chilling while stuff's going on, Big
chilling. There's definitely times where I'll get more irked, or sometimes mostly tired, because I'll do some challenges and I'll be on the same boss for like 16 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
Not straight, but yeah, it's just like, one day I'll beat this. But yeah, I work through it. The one thing the mentality that I have is that if I ever am dying or failing to defeat a boss or whatever, it's always my fault, which isn't to say that I'm blaming myself, but it means that I can fix, whatever is going wrong. And so just analyzing why my dodge didn't work or why this or that just is what leads me to kind of over time narrow down all the mistakes that I might make and fix those mistakes. And then that leads to ultimately more or less mastery of the fights, and very satisfying. Now this is interesting. Most bosses are not immune to this lava, but this Capra Demon is a boss that shows up later in the game as a regular enemy, and he walks in lava, and so he's immune to the lava here, and he's gonna die in 2 hits. But oh my gosh, if I could reach him.
I mean, you got a pretty good reach on that weapon.
You would think that those jump attacks are just, they're not putting their full effort into it.
So I got a question here.
Yes.
Now that you're done with this boss, would it be a good time for our midway wellness break?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just seeing that it was almost 7:30. Think about that. So yes, let me touch this, and then we are good to take a break.
Yep. All right, awesome. So we will stop the timer right there. Again, this is just our midway break. That's so we can get up, stretch. It's always good to take a break, stay hydrated, etc. A few announcements here on behalf of Games Done Quick. If you are enjoying yourselves, as a reminder, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. And also as a reminder, GDQ's next all-women and femmes speedrunning event, Frost Fatale 2025, will be live from March 9th through the 16th, benefiting National Women's Law Center. Visit gamesdonequick.com/Frimfatale for more information on the event, or use !FF in Twitch chat to check out the schedule. I'm also going to be there playing Zelda 1 Randomizer as well, speaking of randomizers.
Ooh, nice.
So can't wait to check y'all out there. It'll be a great time for a great cause. But that being said, be sure to stretch, hydrate. We'll be right back with Random Number Generation. Welcome back to Random Number Generation. I'm joined here by Lobos, and this is Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition Randomizer. We are doing enemy and item randomizer. How are you feeling about the run so far, Lobos?
Well, we got some good weapons this time, so the rest of this should be a cinch. We'll see if I curse myself by saying that, though.
Your attire looks a little different from when I last remember, Lobos. What did you do?
Well, everybody was requesting the witch hat, so I put the witch hat on. And I also went human. In this game, normally when you are dead, you're a beef jerky of a man. But I restored my humanity, so now we are a human witch man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
On your count, Lobos.
Okay, all right. We'll pick it back up in 3, 2, 1, go. The last thing we did is we killed the boss in the room right before this that gets us the orange charred ring, which allows us to run on lava. If there was a ring that allowed you to do that in real life, I'm still not sure I would chance it, even if I saw someone else doing it. But hey, we need to head down here in order to reach our goal. So on the lava we go.
How does your character run through the lava with allegedly bare feet and bare legs, bare thighs? I mean, this doesn't look very comfortable.
Like I said, it's the magic of this ring, the orange charred ring, which it says reduces lava damage. Oh my gosh, what just hit me? I have no idea what hit me. Oh, that hit me. Oh, it's one of those magic users that I talked about, the worst enemies in the game to show up just randomly. He almost got me too. Sheesh. Okay. I reached a checkpoint though, so we're safe. But yeah, the boss that normally drops this ring is the Centipede Demon, which was a part of that double fight near the very beginning of the run. The one that was messing with the camera a lot. And it's an interesting fight because you can cut off its tail, you can cut off its arm, and it actually, it buds off into another little centipede, and now you have to fight multiple if you cut off the arm and tail. But then if you kill the arm or tail, then it'll drop you the orange charred ring, which we were using to get across the lava. Oh, shoot. This is another... Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that one needs a replay for sure. This is... You
forgot to swing your axe, right? Like a baseball bat?
Well, I wasn't even anywhere close to anybody, but I was going to say this is another one of those very difficult rooms to get through. Sure enough, as I was about to say that, I got hit by a dark magic, like an arrow, a dagger, and a boulder in the face all at the same time. So they're working overtime to make sure I don't get past this, but we're gonna get past it. We're gonna get past it. So yeah, we've got one of those Ulysseal sorceresses. I can see it right here. There it goes. It's charging. It shoots. I blocked it. There's two bouldermen. I'm gonna kill. You know what? I'm gonna make a break for it. Hopefully, the walls behind me will block its future attempts. I think we're good. Unless it snipes me there. Okay. But we are coming up to that arena that, like I mentioned before, does have a floor that falls out. I will let you see what that looks like. This boss kind of works differently in a randomizer because of the floor and how it all works. Basically, they spawn a boss. Well, you'll see. They just spawn a boss here because in the middle of this gimmick fight, you go deep into the tree and there's a little insect, and that's what you kill to defeat the boss. But on this, Oh, I landed a plunging attack, which is a really rare thing to be able to do for this boss. But just because of the positional circumstances, we were able to do it. But yeah, so there's the tree I was talking about. And
I see.
it'll normally swipe its arms at you. The arms are replaced, though, by this boss. And let's see if Okay. So the floor doesn't fall out until you complete the objectives. And I guess now I'm not sure I can. Wait, let's see. I've never tried this. This is science. Science? Oh, there we go. It disappeared. Now does the floor fall out? No. I guess after the boss is done, it doesn't. Okay, but like half of this middle of the floor will drop out after you've completed that first objective that I just did. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped that. I didn't get to show you that.
Oh, no problem. But that still seems intense, though, when it does happen.
Yeah. The boss also gets kind of more active. During that too, it'll start it can spawn fire pillars, so you have to watch your feet and not fall down. Yeah. Lots of ways for it to easily kill you or throw you into an abyss. Which is, most people are not a big fan of that boss. But at this point now, we have killed 2 out of the 4 bosses that we need to reach the final boss. And before we kill the final boss in this run, we will backtrack and hit all these side bosses. There's not a whole lot of side bosses, maybe 4 or 5. And then we'll finish out the game as well, since we have a little bit of extra time. Up ahead is yet again another one of the worst rooms in the game. Anytime the randomizer just, has to replace a small room that is packed densely with enemies, it's going to be a bad time. And now the randomizers are getting real sorceress happy. Okay, but at least they die easily. Some spots you can have multiple of those, and it's just, you'll get caught up in the crossfire. Oh, Toothy Cut Puppy.
Oh.
Sorry, buddy. See, they're kind of cute, right? They're not very aggressive.
Yeah, but if they're cute, why did you...
It was in the way. I have to go past it. See, I need to cross this bridge.
Oh, poor Toothy Cut Puppy.
Oh, boy. I don't like this giant bone skeleton. I don't like him. Almost dead. I tried to reset the spawns. Can I make it? No. All right. Good to know, though. I scoped the room. And now we will have a better chance making it through there, probably. We're back. Unfortunately, I will have to move the Toothy Cut Puppy again.
Oh, no. You mean move it or kill it? Those are 2 different sentiments.
They're not mutually exclusive. You could do one. You could do both. Well, anyways.
In the world of Dark Souls.
Yeah. What is kind of funny to look at is a lot of the enemies in this area are kind of inactive until you get close or until you attack them. So they're doing an idle animation, but a lot of the randomized enemies don't have idle animations. So you get most of them doing a T-pose. I mean, this is a rat's T-pose. There's a T-posing cute mushroom.
Aww.
There's T-posing giant sentinel man. T-pose dog. And then the way that they're all T-pose, praise T. And the way the little Tooth Cut Puppy looks when it's T-posed is its legs are all splayed out. It looks like he's taking a little nap.
Aww.
Yeah, we'll see it here for a brief moment before I move it.
I know. Chat's already covered that definition for me. Oh, no.
It's more like I pretend I'm waving a wand. Here it is. Its legs. Looks like an instrument or something. Now, it might help. I moved it. It might help to know that if I don't kill it, it'll like spew noxious gas on me and like
that
acid.
Didn't look too nice when it leaned on its side and all those like teeth spikes were there.
It's got a lot of teeth. It's got a lot of eyes.
Yeah. It was cute until it tipped over, and I was like, oh, gosh.
Right, yeah. I'm going to try and get rid of this big skeleton. Okay, good. He was the one causing the problems. This little guy was blocking me, but couldn't do much damage. Okay. Oh, this is the big flooded, ruined city called New Londo. We had Anarlondo earlier, and this place was called New Londo, but now it's in ruins. And it's been flooded. And at the very bottom of the place, we have to drain the water in this area and then go fight what normally are the 4 kings, which we've seen one of the kings or 2 of them in this run already, but yeah, you wouldn't know it. It's kind of interesting how the fight works. I guess I'll go ahead and explain it because it might be over quickly. Normally, this fight works such that you jump into this big abyss, and 1 king will spawn. And after X amount of time, about, say, 30 seconds, a 2nd king will spawn. And then a 3rd, and then a 4th, with a maximum of 4 at a time. So if you are not killing them, you can have all 4 kings at once. And they all share, like, a main health bar. And where that comes to be interesting in a randomizer run is the way they allocate all of the king's health to a single bar is they put a king underneath the world, and then whenever you damage one of the kings, it sends damage to this healthy enemy underneath the ground. And so in the randomizer, that enemy underneath the ground can get randomized to something that has like no HP. And then now you do the fight in like 2 hits. Or it can be randomized to something that has more health. But all that is to say, this fight is very random. Sometimes you'll fight 4 of the same enemies. Sometimes you'll fight 4 unique enemies, all individual. It's a lot of fun. But anyways, here we go. We're diving into this abyss. I'm going to heal up as we get down in here. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, wait, what? Oh, I understand. Okay, so I was explaining how there's a boss under the world, and it's responsible for the overall health bar. Well, that's the boss. It's actually so big that it's sticking out of the ground. I've never seen this before. But this is technically the first king in the fight. And we're depleting that boss's health bar over there, which that's a very healthy boy. This.
You said the thing, by the way.
I said the thing?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said you hadn't seen it before.
Oh, it's true, though. It's true. Ow. How is it always true? Oh, gosh. So now we've got a large knight. Oh, gosh. I did not mean to do that. I mean, I kind of did, but not. No. Okay, he's kind of. Oh. All right, this is fine. I'm going to try and find a safe spot here. Funny enough, the soul that I was duping for money this whole playthrough is this guy's soul, the knight. Top off. It's okay if you want to hit me. I'm going to kill this gargoyle. There we go. Or almost kill him. So he's out of the way. Okay. And now the 3rd enemy is probably spawned by now. I see him in the distance. It is the penultimate boss of the DLC. I'm going to need to run close to him. Oh, he's actually damaging the other guy. Oh, please do not wake up in this fire. Please not wake up in this fire. I would like to survive. Here you go. He'll actually damage that knight. And, okay, I hit him for the win. Okay, that was kind of crazy, but it's always
That was
crazy.
intense.
It was. Okay. Oof. So yeah, sometimes that boss fight, like all of those 3 enemies that spawned that I was fighting, sometimes they're all the same boss. Sometimes they're individual bosses like that. I don't really know what determines that. And then, of course, their main health bar is whatever is stuck underneath the world, which we could see. One thing to note, if you watched the previous runs of this I did on GDQ, we have made some... Sorry, Frame. We have made some changes to the randomization. There are a couple of additional bosses that can show up. One being Artorias, which is a very popular DLC boss. And another... Oh. The big guy that was sticking out of the ground there is another one. Because normally that boss doesn't really function properly. So we thought it would be interesting to include it. And it's kind of more funny moments that can happen if that guy is thrown into another boss arena, which we had. It was a very interesting moment to have. But anyways, I'm rambling.
No, please. I'm having a good time learning about all the different times you've played this and all the different patterns you've seen. And I'm with Chad. I don't understand how you found something you haven't seen before. Jokes aside about that's never happened before.
Right. No, there's... I remember finding a room in this game that I did not know existed. And it's not hidden by any means. Like it's not literally hidden. It's just... There's a wall, and normally you pass through this narrow hallway. I need to see this bonfire. And if you don't look to the right at the right time, you'll miss that there's this little staircase, and there's a little room there that's just tucked in. And I had not found that in probably like 6 or 7 years of playing the game. There's just so many little nooks and crannies in these games before you even start thinking about what sort of crazy stuff can happen with randomizers and AI swaps and all this. It's a lot that keeps the game very interesting after all of these years. So I love it. I love it for that. For people wondering where that is, I'm speaking of the little staircase in the Undead Bird. We might go there actually, since we're going to go towards some of the optional bosses. But yeah, if I remember, I'll show that spot. There's also an entire area in this game that is hidden behind 2 illusory walls, which are just walls. You hit them or you roll into them, and the game goes, nope, there's not actually a wall here. There's a whole area. So they're very good about just hiding all these things. These gargoyles are early game bosses, so they're melting like butter when it comes to our Black Knight Great Axe. I was going to say, it doesn't seem like much of a boss. At this point, no. We've got a lot of levels. We've got our big weapon, maximum upgrades and everything. I'm going to do a little skip here that's really fun, how it works out. We're going to jump off this, and the game's just going to automatically slide me and put me on this other slide. And then you don't take any fall damage from doing that, so it lets me skip kind of this whole dark section. This lower section is called Tomb of the Giants, and it's very dark, as you can see. But after playing this a few times, you can learn how to navigate it without using light sources. There are light sources you can get in the game. I don't want this thing to hurt me. Oh, okay. There's like a hat you can wear that will provide light. There's a lantern. I think there might be a spell. Oh my goodness. That's the Snack Man who is clocking out of work again. Okay. But yeah, just with experience, you can learn how to navigate these dark tombs. All right. Going through here, first playthrough though, if you don't have a light source, which I did on my first playthrough. I didn't, I mean, on my first playthrough. It was, you're inching along like, oh gosh, where am I going to fall to my death? Because there's so many pits here. And dangerous enemies. Just a little jump skip. Quickly get us to where we want to go. Actually, well, this boss coming up can be incredibly difficult because by nature, this boss is a big, slow-moving, slow-hitting enemy, but he's surrounded by skeletons that will resurrect after you kill them, unless you use basically like some holy magic or divine damage on them. But in the randomizer, well, luckily those skeletons don't randomize. However, it also means that they are... What? Oh, the teleporting stuff, everything going on?
No, I just saw you eye that mushroom.
Oh.
You're like, however.
Mushrooms are always a pleasure. I love those mushrooms. I was saying the skeletons are not randomized, which means that you have to deal with them constantly resurrecting. And then you might get a boss in here that is very difficult to handle. So let's find out what we've got going on here. By default, I just throw on very heavy armor and hope and pray that it's not a horrible boss combination. Let's see. Oh, there's Artorias. It's Artorias, everyone. Okay, this isn't great. He deals a lot of damage, and okay. Ooh, staggered him. All right, let me see here. This, I'm probably gonna die here. Yeah, okay. But if I come here prepared, yeah, we can make this work. Artorias isn't so bad, but Artorias is cool. He's a very, the lore, he's a broken knight who was fighting to prevent the spread of this abyss, horrible thing. And he got taken over by the abyss, and so he's all beat up. His main arm, his dominant arm, does not work. What was I gonna do? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know what I was gonna do.
Said something about going back there better prepared, right? So
yes,
what can you do at this point for that?
Okay, so the strategy that I'm using for this boss is we are going to give ourselves as much poise as possible, which basically just means we're going to be very sturdy. We're going to make it as hard as possible for our character to be interrupted. And there is a technique you can do at these bonfires where you spend this resource called humanity to go human, but also you can kindle the bonfire. And now instead of 5 Estus flasks, which is our heal potion, now we can have 10, we can have 15, and you can max it out at 20 in this game. In addition, I know I got at least 1 Firekeeper soul, which is an item. I gotta think about who I can go turn this into right now. Daughter of Chaos, yes, okay. We can turn in a Firekeeper soul, and that will increase the power of every heal. How many do I have? Okay, I just got the 1, but still, +1 heal is very good. And now we have 20 of those. And my plan will just be to stand in front of the boss and hit him with my weapon until I take, maybe 50% of my health, and then just heal, and then go back to hitting the boss. And that is a tactic that you can use a lot in Dark Souls 1, because you can make yourself not immune to stun, but very resistant to it. And just by putting on a whole bunch of sturdy defensive armor. So it's still not going to be an easy fight, but it's much more doable with this strategy in mind. And the heal in this game, if anybody was curious, can get up to +7. So one quick little chug of your health potion can restore a lot of health. Oh, hello. Dog? Oh, I'm sorry, dog. Those dogs are a menace, though, so Oh! My goodness. Okay. Mosquitoes. Annoying in the game as they are in real life. Let's pop a... That'll heal me. Oh. So there's some interesting mechanics in this game. Whenever you go human, now you can be invaded by players or NPCs. I got invaded by an NPC there, and apparently he just ran off the cliff, so he unfortunately perished, but without any effort on our end, so I'll take it. Okay. I'm tanky. I'm going to drop down. We're going to do our fight. We're going to win. Let's go. I hear Artorias yell. Okay, come here, buddy. Fine. Attacking. I need to heal. Okay, good. Uh-huh. Good. Attack. Good. Here's all the skeletons that are going to revive if I heal up a little bit more. Okay, good. Attack. Heal. Yep. Whoa! Heal. And come here. There we go. Got him. I really like that fight. Without all of the skeletons around, it's a very fun fight to dodge around and get your hits in. But unfortunately, when we're in that scenario, we gotta be a little cheesier to get through them. Okay, and that is the final boss that we had to do to unlock. Oh, sorry, that's the last boss. That's the second to last boss that we have to do in the game. So now we could access the true final boss when Lord of Cinder. But since we have some extra time, let's go do some optional bosses.
So while we're walking to those bosses, Lobos, what are you working on with your stream right now? Let people know where to find you.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, twitch.tv/Lobos Jr. That's Lobos Jr. I've been doing a lot of these runs. I've been doing a lot of newer games. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 came out. I've been playing that. And of course, myself and my community and a lot of us are preparing for Elden Ring Night Reign. They're going to have a network test, and that is going to be the next From Software release that everybody's really interested in because it is not a PvE. It is, but it's not a solo game in their normal vein. It is a co-op experience that is kind of battle royale style. So it'll be really interesting to find that out. I came to this spot. This is the spot that I had not found for years. The fact that there is a staircase here, I think you can drop down around here and then just run. And I just never looked right. I found this little staircase with an item in here. Just never knew it was there. Little nooks and crannies hidden everywhere. Okay, but now I need to find my way to the boss, which we are working on. But yeah, very excited for Night Reign. The network test is going to be from the 14th through the 16th. And then, unfortunately, we'll have to wait until it comes out fully. However, Monster Hunter Wilds comes out on the 28th of the month, and I am a big Monster Hunter fan now, so I'm playing that a lot. And the games never stop. The games never stop. Always more games to be played. A beautiful, beautiful curse.
I never played any of the Monster Hunter games, which I know sounds kind of odd, but again, there's just so many games out there, and I'm kind of stuck in, old retro game land. So would you recommend the Monster Hunter series?
I love the Monster Hunter series. It is, it can be a series that's definitely tough to get into. Their later releases, oh my, the party. That's a party. Their later releases have been more kind of friendly to newer players. And the tricky part about Monster Hunter is not quite as much as Dark Souls, Dark Souls is not quite in this vein. Dark Souls, you have to learn the bosses. But in Monster Hunter, you have to learn the bosses and also how to use your weapon. And almost every single weapon is unique and plays very differently. And so you have to learn the ins and outs of that as well as how the boss functions. And that can turn off people, I think. It did for me with earlier titles before I really knew what I was doing. But I'm trying to get to the basics. Once you learn how your weapon works and then you learn the boss, then you master it and it's like doubly satisfying because, especially me, I love big weapons like this. And in Monster Hunter, if you grab a greatsword and you're fighting a little agile dude, you're going to be like, all right, here comes my big hit. And then the monster's like 10 feet away already. And you're like, I'm never going to kill this monster. But it's a lot of fun. And there's all sorts of weapons. There's fast weapons, there's ranged weapons, there's big hammers. Hammer is my favorite weapon, so I very much look forward to it. It is worth the investment to figure out, at least one weapon that, oh my gosh, that's crazy that just happened. He knocked me off the ladder. I've never seen that as well. What was that?
Wait, again?
Again?
No, you get one of those. How does that happen again?
I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know.
How long have you been playing this game? Hang on a second.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing Dark Souls 1?
Like I said, probably, 12 years now, something like that?
Yeah. So how have you seen two things in one night that you haven't seen before?
I have no answer to that. I have to assume that it's just because the randomizer, this dog was there. There's not normally a dog there. The way he hit me as I was getting on the ladder, I don't know. Just the power of GDQ. It brings out all of the never before seen antics. Ow! Hurts. Small sprite.
I guess that's the cursed part of the show tonight. Since you got your weapons nice, you had to be dealt a hand with a bunch of things you haven't seen yet.
Yeah. But no, those are the good types of curses. Like, see these. I don't know, the game play out, and maybe you've seen it happen a million times, but now it plays out differently. Wow, amazing. So this could be actually an incredibly difficult boss because it is a very tiny room. So let's just find out. Let's see how it is. Oh, okay. It's a tiny enemy, a tiny boss. So luckily, it's not that bad. And this is the guy that we stun locked with the hammer early on. He's going to be even easier now with this huge weapon. Excuse me. Leech. One more hit. There we go. And this leech causing problems. There we go. So we kill him. We get the key to the depths. This is going to allow us to head to another boss down there. The master key does not work for that shortcut. There are certain key doors that the master key does not open. I believe that is one of them, if you're talking about this one. And also the... gosh, I had it in my brain and now it just fell apart. Oh gosh, that's a big... Whoa, actually these two enemies next to each other, I almost wonder if those are the skeletons of the cats. These big crawling skeleton enemies, you never see them with flesh. You only see their skeletons. It's kind of makes you wonder what the actual beast is like. But no, Master Key doesn't open all doors, but it does most. So we are in the depths, these sewers. And we're going to go fight what is normally the gaping dragon boss. Which is probably going to be something else. Unless the game happens to randomize it to what it normally is. Like it did with Sif earlier. Or Sif. Fun to come down here though, because usually I just do the 80% route. Hello? Ah, it's Priscilla, who is the one that turns invisible again. However, when we hit her with a heavy attack, she is going to be visible again. You're good. And she can go back invisible again as well. Oh, I cut her tail off and got a purple coward's crystal, which is a PvP item, but that is one thing that Dark Souls 1 has that they stopped doing with the Souls series, and that is tail cut items. You know, these dragons have these really long tails that are really cool, and they're tough to hit, but if you stick with it, you can manage to take out the tails, and then they drop you, for the most part in these games, they drop you weapons. But I guess they are kind of, if you kill the boss without cutting the tail, then that item is gone forever, and they probably wanted to move away from that. So no longer do we have tail cut weapons. Oh, I did not mean to jump off that just yet. But we're back to Enerlondo. This is, oh, you know what? Before I go here, I need to go somewhere else. I just realized. We have to get a key item. A cool thing is the initial tutorial area of the game you can actually head back to, and then there's a later game boss that you can fight. And in that area, we'll get a key that lets us go into a painting, and then it's a whole painted world. It's a cool place. There's one boss there, which is normally Priscilla, the invisible boss.
Which is the boss that everybody praised earlier, because Priscilla was a really big help earlier.
She did, yes. She helped bleed the other boss, because she does a lot of bleed buildup. And whenever you build up enough bleed on an enemy, then it'll deal a big chunk of damage to their health. I don't need that. And so because she could hit the boss, and the second boss happened to be very weak to bleed, she was just doing all sorts of damage to it.
All right, so you're in a nest with 2 giant eggs. This doesn't seem like a good place to be.
You wouldn't think so, but whenever you beat the tutorial, the way that you reach this mainland is a crow carries you here. And so in order to re-reach that initial area, we need the help of our nice giant crow.
So this is a friend in Dark Souls?
Yeah, there's friends.
But they're typically not birds. You have to understand, birds in games, I mean, if you ask chat how often birds are friends in games, it's not going to be a pretty wide margin.
Well, there are friendly and unfriendly birds in these games. Elden Ring introduced some very mean birds that actually have blades attached to their feet, and they fly around and scrape you up. They are not friends. But this bird is friend. Okay, so we take what we can get.
Sure, of all places to have an actual bird friend in a video game, Dark Souls was not a place I had imagined a bird friend to be.
Well, Dark Souls provides in mysterious ways sometimes.
It does. Oh, and that was a boss.
That was a boss, yeah. And that's the 3rd time we've seen him, too. That's the only problem with no limit to the spawns of bosses. Sometimes you'll have a run that's full of one type of boss. It can be a good thing, but it can also be a very bad thing. If it's a very tough boss or one that's kind of annoying to fight. Okay, we got a peculiar doll, and that's going to let us...
All right, everyone, if you played a Castlevania game, you'll know birds aren't friends, okay? You know, they typically knock you off of a cliff. Typically. That was a good bird, though. That was a good bird in this one.
So you got this item called the Painted Doll, and you use it in order to enter a painting, which, funny enough, is actually... in the, outside of the game. Apparently is the first area that they designed when they were creating Dark Souls. So it's interesting to kind of look at it from that perspective. But it's kind of a smaller area that's got but it's densely packed, and it's got some cool little shortcuts to unlock and that sort of thing. So interesting for the history of it. Run down there. So, how are you feeling about giving Dark Souls a go yourself now after the second one?
I don't know. This still looks terrifying. I wonder if starting on the randomizer might be a good idea because then you could gain access to powerful weapons early. I don't know.
It's true, but then you also do have to deal with these big double fights that are not balanced. So it's kind of,
Can you have beginner settings? Like, is that a thing?
I think you can add in scaling so that basically the further into the game that you get, the further away from the beginning of the game that you get, the enemies will get harder. And if they're close, they're near the beginning of the game, they'll be easier. So that is a nice setting if you get overwhelmed by just the pure difficulty of bosses when you fight like a late game boss early or whatever. So that is an option for sure. And in Dark Souls 1, it's very open in the sense that in the base game, without randomization, you can go pick up some very powerful weapons right away before fighting any bosses outside of the tutorial anyways. Weapons on, literally this weapon you could go get. But you do need to get a little bit lucky for these Black Knight weapons. Because like I said, there are Black Knights that are strewn across the land. Oh, here's another one. And it's kind of random chance whether they're going to drop or not. Bone wheel.
You're not doing a good job with those bone wheels tonight.
Well, they're bone wheels. They're notorious for, if they catch you, they can just spin on you until you're dead. So that's what makes them really dangerous.
You dodge all these big enemies, you take down all these like dragons and stuff, and then these little itty bitty bone wheels just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, looks can be deceiving. You never know. So, one of the hardest enemies in this game, I would say, is just like a little maggot, which is it's just a little guy. But if you get close to them, they'll just repeatedly jump attack you in such a way that they could pretty much stun lock you to death if you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Chat was confirming too that bone wheels are the worst. Are they like one of the worst? Jokes aside, are they one of the worst basic enemies in the game?
They are. They're pretty tough. The main thing of it is there's like an entire section, just a big room in the game that's got about 8 of them, and so when you go down there, you don't even know where they're coming from. But you just got bone wheels coming at you from every direction. And if they catch you, like I said, they just grind you up.
They just combo you, yeah.
As much.
Now this, that's Gargoyle is doing.
That's what I mean. Like, there's that big mean gargoyle, right? Lots of weapons, lots of armor. No problem. Then the little bone wheel just comes along, and it looks frail, and then it just slices you up.
It all depends on when you encounter them in the game,
Yeah.
Okay, let me think of more optional bosses. What am I missing, guys? Chat? Anyone? Hold on, let me think. Optional bosses. Did we get them all? It's possible we got them all. I'm not sure. Non-DLC bosses, of course. I think we got them all. Capra Demon, Priscilla. Oh, Gwendolyn. Okay, there we go. There's one more, I believe. Oh, Moonlight Butterfly. You're right, too. Moonlight Butterfly and Gwendolyn, and I think then that is it. So let's go do that. It's kind of funny, the way that the randomizer works, there is an unfortunate scenario after you ring one bell in this game at the beginning where an unsavory character will appear at like your starting safe hub, and if you don't deal with him, he will kill a friendly NPC there named the Firekeeper, and then you cannot sit at the bonfire in your safe zone until you fix the problem, which you can, but I won't spoil how. But that means that right now I cannot sit at that bonfire, and if I want to warp, I have to go find another bonfire. So otherwise I would be warping more around here. Hydra, I don't count Hydras. They are like, the way that we define bosses generally is you're locked in the room. Well, at least for Dark Souls 1. You're locked in the room and there's a health bar and it has a name. And unfortunately, the Hydras from Software did not think that they were worthy of having a name. Or I think what it is they just wanted all their bosses to be, like, you to be trapped with them. And Hydras you could run away from. Of course, in Elden Ring, there's a lot of overworld bosses that have health bars with names and all that. So it'd be different there. But let's see here. Moonlight butterflies this way. The only problem with having so many hours in Dark Souls 1 is that I can start like talking on a complete tangent about something else, and my hands will just autopilot me. But there's a lot of places to go in this game, and by the time I finish discussing a point with chat or whatever, when I come to and I realize what my hands have been doing and where they've been taking me, I have to go, what were we doing? Which that did kind of happen, but now we're on track and we're almost to the Moonlight Butterfly, which I think most of the time when a boss replaces here, it's just going to insta-die because it's a very narrow bridge, and the Moonlight Butterfly usually flies down and it's graceful, and it's a very, very cool fight. So let's see, if it's a small enough boss, it can... Oh, okay, never mind. It's not going to insta-die. Well, not of its own accord. This is kind of a joke boss in the game. Well, not because of that, but for how easily it is killed. It's the weakest boss in the game.
Oh.
So, unfortunate for him. All right. One more boss, and then we got the final boss, and then that's it. That'll be the run.
All right.
But I'm so happy that we got a good weapon, and we got to show off some extra side stuff in the game.
I appreciate you for being on here. This is always a delight to have.
Great time, great time. I could play Dark Souls anytime, and I could join your program anytime, just doing whatever. I like video games. And sharing those experiences with everybody.
So where is the final boss located?
So there's this like pit near the very beginning of the game that at some point opens up and a giant snake man pops out. And he kind of gives you a little bit of direction and says, you need to go get the Lord Vessel, which is like this big bowl. And you need to put, can I not pull the, oh, I have to go around, okay. And you need to put the souls of the 4 Lord bosses into this bowl, and it will open the way to the final area. And yeah, you drop down this pit. You can just jump in there and you magically float down into the pit. Or the snake man will take you in his mouth and he will carry you down to the location where you have to place this bowl. And you'll see it when we go there after this boss, but it's, I mean, I don't think I've really thought about that area's placement before. It's kind of just below everything, and it's a big kiln. It's called Kiln of the First Flame. And at some point, humanity was kind of destined to burn out, and, you know, they were to make way for a new power in the world. And this king, this Lord Gwyn, didn't want that to happen. And so he set himself alight in order to extend humanity's reign. But in doing so, he kind of just like burned himself out, and now he's a husk of his former self. And so we go and put him to rest Although we haven't seen him in this run, and the odds of us seeing him in the final boss room are low, but it might happen. But that's where the final boss is. That was a very long-winded answer.
Oh, definitely.
Wait, I think
Please make him do a Lobo's sound effects run sometime. Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
They kept trying to convince me to. Did I tell you about the Lobos SFX mod that I did before?
Yes,
Yeah.
you told me that the other time. Yeah, that did seem quite funny. We might be able to do that sometime.
I mean, if you listen to it and you've never played the game, in certain areas, you might think that's just the game's sound, which, I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own sound effects horn, but for those who don't know, there's a mod I've made that is still in progress after many years that is replacing all sounds, effects, music, voice, everything with just my own mouth sounds. That means that, like, all of the footsteps are me going like, and then lighting this bonfire would be me going that sort of thing. And it might sound really annoying, and maybe it is, but
No.
but I tried my best to, I would record the sound and then I would edit it in an audio software to try and make it sound close to the original, so that it didn't sound, just silly. And I think it works pretty well in most cases. Occasionally there's a sound here or there that you're like, what the heck was that? For example, metal sounds are really hard to make with your mouth, so those might not sound super accurate. Oh, look, it's Ornstein number 5, I think. But this guy's actually got 2 phases, so technically he's the big one and the small one are different bosses. So.
It's another boss for hitting in the crotch and the thighs.
Absolutely. And it's done.
Nice.
It's done. Okay. So, like I said, unfortunately, with the way that my randomizer is set up, the DLC is just crashes if you go there with the randomizer. You definitely can set it up on the remastered version of the game where it works. And I might plan to do that for the future. But I didn't want to change things, towards last minute and run into problems. So, for now, all of the bosses, minus the DLC, are complete.
Sorry, fool.
Oh, here's the snake, man, and here's where we're jumping down. Here's the giant bowl that we placed. So now we're going to offer the souls to the Lord Vessel.
No, we're not going to kill Sif again. Don't wish that, Chad.
This is by this point in the run, there's always a prediction for who the final boss is. So who do you think it's going to be, chat? You got about a minute to make a guess. Let's see. So this is the final area, the Kiln of the First Flame, where Gwyn, I guess, extended humanity's presence. And so it's all ashen and burned out. Oh, and here's another one of those man serpents that we passed on the ladder that one time. That feels like ages ago.
It does.
Another time. Now we've seen him again. Hello.
You'll have to let me know when your mod is finished. I would absolutely love to have that on here.
Sure, yeah. So the sound effects portion is done, and that is available for download if anybody wants to. On Nexus Mods, it's called Lobos SFX. What isn't done is not all the dialogue is done, not all the music is done. The music can take a long time because I actually do all of the audio tracks just a cappella, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I have done a lot of music stuff in my day, and so it's a really fun combo of those things. And the final boss is Manus number 3.
What?
Yeah.
Again?
So, yeah, these spawns were not at all conducive for a PB, but, we did our best. And we've got
Yeah.
some powerful stuff to take care of them, so not too bad. And now you can listen to this very somber track that everybody lovingly calls Plin Plin Plon. It's a beautiful piano track.
It is, yeah.
Sometimes the music in these games is just so good, I have to go in and manually turn down the sound effects just so we can vibe or indulge. Not even close. One of the tough things about this boss is he's got a bunch of combos that look the same. Some of them he can follow up and attack afterwards, and some of them he won't. And so if you see me like dodge, like this one, if I were to go in for an attack, he would punish me. So sometimes you just kind of have to wait for him to do the right attacks to counter. Like this, if I were to go in, he'd punish me. Same one. Miss. Almost there. And then time will be when I interact with the bonfire in the middle of the room. The screen will fade to black. That'll be time. Unless I die here. Okay, it didn't. Looks like. There we go. And time. And that's Dark Souls Randomizer. Enemy item randomizer with keys in their normal spot.
All right, I'll let you know your time in a second here. That was, I didn't want to talk during the piano. That was just beautiful.
No, I like to. There's a lot of songs in these games that are just so nice to listen to, and I'll just mute myself and maybe even hide my camera and we'll all just listen and watch the fight. It's good times.
221.52 it looks like, and again, that's with additional bosses.
Right.
Additional bosses. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a great run. Much smoother than the other where we were struggling to finish things at the end there. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys enjoyed the run. I hope you enjoyed it, Sky.
Of course.
Thanks for running it and everything.
I did want to ask, do you have any shout-outs, Lois?
I don't even know where to begin. There is a a Speed Souls community. If you wanted to get into any sort of speed running of Dark Souls, soulspeedruns.com is a wiki. You should be able to find their Discord there. There's speedrunning stuff for Elden Ring, for Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, all that. In addition to zero-hit runs, all sorts of challenge runs. And I've done them for a long time. So if you ever have any questions, you can come ask me. Shout outs to Sky for running the show. And there's so many people in the Dark Souls community. I couldn't even begin to name them because I know I would forget some and I would feel bad. But thanks to everybody who's, as big of a fan as Souls games, of Souls games as I am. So that I can keep doing this.
I totally get that. Also, do you have a YouTube?
I do have a YouTube. It's
okay.
Lobos Jr. Gaming. Pretty much Twitch is Lobos Jr., and then everywhere else is Lobos Jr. Gaming. And yeah, I upload all my VODs. Sometimes there's some edited content as well. And yeah, pretty much all of my streams are highlighted now. So if you ever want to catch a run, you can catch them there. Also, all 59 of these runs we've done since June of last year are there. If you want to watch some more randomized Dark Souls, because they go all over the place. Sometimes they're easy peasy. Sometimes they are real brain thinkers. And sometimes they fail too. Sometimes I just say, you know what? We're not doing this. You never know.
All right. Well, Lovis, again, thank you so much. I always enjoy when you come on and do these. I very much enjoy the Dark Souls randomizer. So thank you for sharing that with us. And again, we'll have you on at some point again for, if anything, the sound effects randomizer. I would love to hear that.
Sounds good. Yeah, you might be just cracking up the whole time thinking about me recording these sounds. Yeah, it's something else.
All right. And I want to thank everyone for being here. And again, this isn't the end of our GDQ Hotfix content. So again, RNG will be back in 2 weeks. However, real quick, remember to go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out this season's schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at this week's runs. And if you've missed out on any of our Hotfix shows or events like Back to Black, be sure to check out VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And speaking of our programming coming up next, stay tuned for Game Masters coming up after the break.